Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're going to be looking at the Hill amplifier. This is one of the amps that you really want to make sure that you don't spend too many tiles on, because the builds are so strong that you don't want to spend so much, right? If you spend too much on it, then you're going to have less structures for other more expensive builds, right? So that's why I'm going to go over this amplifier, because I'm just going to show you that, hey, you don't need to spend like a whole amount, you know, spend a little bit and then it'll work perfectly fine. Right, so for the Hill West, they're going to spawn on this side over here, right, all down here, and then there's a little spawn down here, right? Don't trap for a little spawn, there is no point, because they're going to path up here anyway with everybody else. Right, in this particular area over here, yeah, I just have a simple wooden floor spike, a ghast, two ghasts over here with some wooden floor spikes, and that's pretty much all the damage you really need. You don't need more than this, really, because what you're going to do is end up, in the end, launching them into the lava, right, using the wall launcher, the floor launcher, wall launcher, floor launcher. Both of these are double, so these are double reloads, and these are single reloads, right? 3 times impact, 4 times impact, right? They're going to launch all the way into the lava, and then they die, right? If they come up here, they're going to launch all the way into the lava. Probably, actually, no, this one probably may not. They probably will survive. That's okay. And this one also launched all the way down there, because if they actually make it on land, they're probably going to die from the fall damage anyway, right? Because it's a really high drop, right? But anyways, this is gonna, you just want to path it like right over here. This is a pretty much any standard ramp build. And pretty much, I think many people are gonna be using this ramp build because it's just so cheap and effective, right? But yeah, pretty much that's it for this tunneling over here, right? Make sure if you triple layer this over here, then they won't take the shortcut, right? So 1, 2, 3, they won't take the shortcut. Okay, there's a little bit of a lava shield over here I have. If you build out even further, you don't need a lava shield, but for me, I did not build further, so therefore I put a lava shield here. Okay, so there's a little bit of a lava shield here, and then over here there is just one additional layer behind that, right? So outside of there's the sound walls, right? And then just one little box, just box that in, and that's good enough. Over here there is an assassin type tunnel, right? So basically all the assassin husks, I wouldn't say all of them, but some of the assassin husks will go over here and just loop over here instead of just trying to bang through this, right? 'Cause sometimes if I notice I just have a double layer over here, then the laser boys will want to break through. So instead I'll use the assassin hut tunnel over here, launch them over here, and that's good enough. 3 times impact, 3 times impact, and this is a 5 times impact, launch them all the way out. Okay, that is pretty much the Hill West, right? It should be a very simple build overall. You don't want to go build too much. There are all kinds of flinger spots, by the way. Like this is a flinger spot, this is a flinger spot, this is a flinger spot, right? But the idea is that the flingers actually are not going to path there unless you fail to kill them by launching into the lava, right? Or but yeah, that's actually the only case, right? They won't actually path to those locations like on their own, right? So you don't have to worry about blocking every single flinger spot possibly. All right. Now let's go on to the Hill South. Hill South over here. There is essentially going to spawn down here, right? So there's a spawn over here, whoosh, right? And I'm going to path everything all the way up here, right? With some gas traps, a little bit of wooden floor spikes, some wall launchers. So these are just 0 impact wall launchers with double reloads. 3 times impact wall launcher, 3 times impact wall launcher, 4 times impact wall launcher to launch them all the way back. 3 times impact wall launcher, 3 times impact wall launcher, 4 times impact wall launcher, 3 times impact wall launcher. So basically just put down some of these and then they'll launch right in here, right? And this one's just a tar pit, just so I guess you could put a gas trap over here, but I just decided not to. And yeah, pretty much just going to send them all down here, right? And then their pathing is going to want to loop all the way around here. And this is a recycler. Down here, there is another recycler. So it's like a recycler inside a recycler, right? And this kind of recycler is actually in my opinion, is actually very important because this is such a short path, right? So what you do is kind of, I want to say cheese, but it's or a glitch. But essentially, what happens with larger husks, especially smashers, that when you clob them up together, right, to the point where the hitboxes are overlapping, and they get hit by a wall launcher or floor launcher, either one. The hitboxes, what happens is that you hit each individual smasher, right? And then they get hit by a wall launcher, right? So suppose there's two smashers over here, they get hit by a wall launcher, they're clogged up together, and they both get hit by the wall launcher. But because they're overlapping, it actually gets hit twice, right? So both those smashers are going to get hit by the single wall launcher twice, right? Which is really, really, really amazing, right? Adds so much impact, right? And then they get whoosh, right? And if you have like 3 smashers here, then they all get hit 3 times, right? So this is like impact, I don't know, hitbox overlapping, right? With impact. So a little bit interesting stuff, right? So this is the reason for the tar pits, because the tar pits help club the husks together, right? So when they move in a group, right? And they start and they stop and they stop in a group too. And this helps get the 0.5 to 1 second extra delay, which the wall launchers have, and then launches them, right? So this is the purpose of these tar pits instead of wooden floor spikes. So and then I also have a little bit of gas over here just to kill the little trashies, right? So that they don't use up the durability of the tars so much. If the tars had like unlimited durability, then I don't really need these gas traps. But for durability reasons, I just have these gas traps. All right. Yeah. So that's pretty much it for this tunneling over here, right? There's a little bit of a wall over here with a little bit extra layers over here. This is just to prevent the lobbers and flingers want to bash out the walls and start flinging, right? So this is why I have this over here. And sometimes, very rarely, a husky will like hit one of these walls over here and they start flying over here onto the floor launchers, right? So when that happens over here, they either get hit by the floor launchers, locked up, or they'll path over here, right, which I have for my lava, and they'll just drop down, right? Which by that pathing, the floor launchers will activate anyway and launch them up. All right, but that's just because of how I designed my lava. Okay, so let's go over the block off. So the block off on the tunnel itself, right, is actually very minimal. So there is actually just this over here. So it's like a little L box, right? So there's just one additional layer with the roof on top. This is another one additional layer over here, and this is another additional layer over here, with the insides being the sound walls, right? So those are sound walls. The tunnel inside, right? Outside of that, there's just one little box around there, and just cover the box, right? Cover the box with the roof, and you're good to go. The roof is gonna prevent the lobbers from wanting to bash the walls and start lobbing, right? And also for the flingers too. All right. So this is why I use this little box setup over here. And then in order to make both these work, right? Because that's only 2 layers. This is only 2 layers, right? To make both of them work, I have additional layering at the amp itself, right? So if you notice underneath, they can actually path over here, right? So I put walls around that. I put the pyramids around that, and I put these little floor pieces edited. That's 3 additional layers. If you want, you can add 4 additional layers like so, like this, and you add 5 additional layers using the pyramids over here too. I tested it without them, and they seems to work, so I left them without. But if you want, you can put those additional layers as well. And what this will do is that if your tunnel blows up, it'll still have the same amount of layers, and they'll still path towards the ramp, right? So those are very, very handy thing to do, right? And if your tunnel blows out, and then make sure that they don't come too close, right? And then you can just put a little bit of wall, just put like one little wall layer, and that should be good enough, right? But again, that's just only if it blows up. I'm building it in such a way that I'm saving as many structures as I can. But yeah, that is essentially the hill amplifier, right? I didn't want to go too long in the hill because there's already a lot of videos using these exact same builds essentially. The main difference is that you want to try to build very minimally, right? Try to build as little as you can because these builds are already really strong, right? And this will help save you structures in the future. Alright, so yeah, I think that's it for my hill video, alright? So good luck guys, and have fun building.